A roar from the sky when the storm in New York became a wake-up call for all humanity as night fell on July 14, 2025. No one could have suspected that the skies above two of the world's most bustling urban centers were about to unleash a terrifying fury. In just a few short hours, a sudden storm transformed New Jersey and New York City into a chaotic scene, a stark testament to the power of nature and the fragility of modern civilization. This was more than just a bad weather report. It is a scar seared into our memory, a wake-up call echoing across the planet. The event was fleeting, but its consequences were devastating. In Union County, New Jersey, the equivalent of a month's rainfall deluged the area in just over an hour. The drainage system designed for the rains of the past was utterly helpless. Flash floods turned streets into furious torrents, sweeping away vehicles and tragically claiming the lives of 2 people. Across the Hudson River, New York City experienced a similar nightmare. Central Park recorded its highest hourly rainfall in over a century since 1908. More than 20 subway stations, the city's lifeblood, were submerged, forcing crucial train lines to shut down completely. Hundreds of flights were canceled, thousands of people were stranded, and approximately 15,000 customers were plunged into darkness.
Yeah.
At first glance, this might seem like an isolated tragedy, a once-in-a-century extreme weather event. But if we stop there, we miss the most crucial and terrifying lesson. This storm was not a random occurrence. It is a clear symptom of a graver illness ravaging our planet: climate change. Scientists at the National Weather Service quickly analyzed and identified the cause. A stationary cold front collided with an unusually warm, moisture-rich air mass. The key phrase here is unusually moisture-rich. A fundamental law of physics tells us that the warmer the air, the more water vapor it can hold. As our planet heats up due to greenhouse gas emissions, the oceans evaporate more, and the atmosphere becomes a giant sponge, accumulating a massive amount of moisture. When the right conditions occur, that sponge is wrung out, creating downpours of extreme intensity, water bombs, that dump a colossal amount of water in an incredibly short time. A month's worth of rain in 60 minutes is no longer unthinkable, it is becoming an alarming new norm. For decades, scientists have warned of this exact scenario. They have forecast that climate change would not only raise average temperatures, but also increase the frequency and intensity of extreme weather events. What we witnessed in New York and New Jersey is the materialization of those warnings. This is no longer a theory on paper, it is the harsh reality unfolding before our very eyes. Furthermore, this tragedy exposed another critical vulnerability, that of modern urban areas. Our cities, with their concrete jungles and asphalt surfaces, are vast, impervious landscapes. Instead of soaking into the ground as it would in a natural environment, rainwater runs off across the surface, rapidly accumulating and creating floods. Our drainage systems, highways, and public works were largely built for a 20th century climate model, a more stable era. They were not designed to cope with the water bombs of the 21st century.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This event demonstrated a terrifying, cascading failure effect. The overwhelmed drainage system led to flooded streets and highways like I-78 and US 22, paralyzing traffic. The paralyzed traffic, in turn, hindered emergency response vehicles from reaching those in need, causing significant delays in response times. The electrical infrastructure was destroyed by fallen trees and flooded substations, worsening the chaos. Each system, when pushed beyond its limit, triggered the collapse of others.
Yeah.
Beyond the numbers of economic and infrastructural damage, we must not forget the human cost.
Yeah.
There is the inconsolable grief of the families who lost loved ones, the panic of hundreds of families forced to evacuate their homes, the helplessness of drivers trapped in the rising floodwaters. And there is the silent dedication of the heroes, the firefighters, police officers, and transit workers who labored in hazardous conditions to save lives and repair the damage.
The one that I rescued, everything is flooded right now. So there's someone over here. The whole part of flooded the river.
So, what must we do to prevent this roar from the sky from becoming the recurring soundtrack of our future? The answer demands a comprehensive shift, a revolution in our thinking and actions. At the level of government and urban planning, we must stop building for the past and start designing for the future. This means we must urgently invest in upgrading and modernizing our infrastructure. We need smarter drainage systems, sponge cities, with more green spaces and permeable surfaces, and stricter building codes in high-risk areas. Comprehensive urban resilience strategies, which integrate the latest climate projections, must become a top priority. At the community and individual levels, none of us can afford to be bystanders. The fight against climate change is not someone else's responsibility. It begins with the smallest actions: saving energy, reducing waste, prioritizing public transportation, and supporting sustainable products. But most importantly, we must use our voices. Let us demand accountability from our leaders. Let us participate in dialogues about climate policy. Let us educate our children and those around us about this existential threat. The preparedness of the community and timely communication helped mitigate damage in New York, proving that solidarity and awareness can make a difference. The storm of July 14-15, 2025 will go down in history as a tragedy, but we have the power to choose how it will be remembered, as a tragic chapter in the story of our collapse in the face of climate change, or as a turning point. A wake-up call that roused humanity to collective action. The future of our planet and our own safety depend on that choice. It is time to heed the warning from the sky.
Coming down. That was